Level 4 is using multiple angle properties to find angles in crooked line diagrams and exhibit knowledge of inscribed circles. So you actually saw crook problems in your sophomore class, 72, but we'll go through another one. They're just properties of parallel lines. So all you need to know is when you've got a crook problem, remember that you can't just apply like that, the Z that we showed you before. Okay, because the Z, I don't have a line here, and I can't just take it all the way up here. Okay, that's not going to help us do anything. But what we can do is we can draw another line through the angle that's bent. So anytime you have a bent line here, we want to draw another line through that angle. And this line is going to be parallel to the other two that were already drawn. So it's got the property of those parallel lines. From here, we can go ahead and trace that Z, either forwards or backwards, whatever you like. For this one, I'm going to trace the 40 and then make that a forward Z. So since I traced the 40-degree angle, now this angle in here is going to be 40. So I found part of my angle X. Now, it doesn't mean, when I draw it in that red line, it didn't mean that bisected it or it cut the angle X in half, so I don't know that for sure. But what I can figure out is that part of that angle is 40 degrees. Now I just need to figure out the other part. So again, I've got this angle 100 at the top. I could do the same thing that I did on the bottom. I could outline that angle and then continue drawing that Z. So that opposite sides are going to be 100. And then you've got 100 plus this unknown angle has got to equal 180. So this one is going to be 80 degrees. So you could definitely do that. The other way you might have seen it is the same side interiors were supplementary. So you could see 100 and that rest of the angle X was supplementary, so you could just subtract from 180 right from the beginning. Either way you see it is totally right, so go with what you see. The last step that you need to do, the whole angle X is going to equal the total of 80 plus 40. So that's going to equal 120 degrees. Okay, in number 8, it says, given circle E, such that FE equals 3x plus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that in my picture. And then it says GE is 17. And it says angle E is 75. So I'm going to mark all of those in my picture. We want to find the value or values of X and the measure of F, angle F. So let's talk about angles first, and let's talk about this picture. We've got a circle, and remember in a circle, you've got some segments. You've got a radius that goes from the center to the outside of the circle. You also have a diameter that just goes all the way across the circle. A diameter is 2 times the radius. Whoops, this would help. Diameter is 2 times the radius, and then all radii are equal. So you see that these pictures, FE and EG, are congruent. So that means that the measure of FE equals the measure of EG. So since FE is 3x plus 1, I can set that equal to 17, which is EG. And then I'm just going to solve that. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So x is going to equal 16 over 3. Normally this comes out nice, but this one just came out kind of weird. But we set it up right. All radii are equal or congruent, so we set that up correctly. So x equals 16 over 3. The last thing that we've got to talk about is the measure of angle F. So this angle over here. So remember way back in level, I think 2, I told you to trace the sides that were congruent. Notice we've got a triangle. This is an isosceles triangle. So to find the angles that are congruent, they're always going to be at the ends of your 2 congruent lines. So F and G are the angles that are congruent. So if I have one angle that's 75 and the other angles have to add up together should equal 180, but they have to be the same, I'm going to take 180 and subtract it from 75, which gets me 105. And I'm going to divide that by 2, which will give me, let's see, 52.5. So the measure of angle F equals 52.5. So using a little circle properties, a little angle properties to figure out a bunch of different things within shapes and figures.